Please, open the door. Why won't you let me talk to you in person? Absolutely not. I don't want to talk to you. Just seeing your smarmy little face makes me fly into rage. You'd better leave before I call the police. What? What did I do? Maybe if you paid more attention to things, you'd know what you did. Or rather, didn't do it. Maybe you should just sit out in the cold and think about how you've mistreated this family. How have I mistreated anyone? Please just let me in so we can talk about this. Why should I let you in? All you do is cause trouble. I just don't get it. The four of us have been living together for a year now without any problems. What's different? What changed? How have you not noticed? Or are you really just that oblivious? How can I notice something if I don't know what you're talking about? Did you really not see how frustrated I've been? How frustrated Edward has been. He comes home every day to see the house dirtier than it was when he left. All you do is laze around all day with that job of yours. You just sit in that office and stare at the screen for 8 hours and get nothing done. Meanwhile, he works day in and day out and you do nothing. If you're going to be home all day, you should at least do something around the house. I've been trying my best to do the housework when I can find the time during the day. But work just keeps getting busier and busier. I'm in meetings from 8 until 5, if not longer. Like I believe that. I've seen you there. All you do is watch videos and talk on the screen. That's my job. I work in the marketing department. I have to approve video content for our ads. That sounds so easy. You really call that work? There's no way your little work from home can keep you that busy. You can't be working anywhere as much as my dear little Edward is. He works so much that he can even gain enough to give me a passbook on my birthday. What? He said that the passbook was signed in with his name? Yeah. He's richer than you think. Whatever, but I'm really so busy. I thought you might be at least a little sympathetic, even if you never really did show it. Why would I be sympathetic? You don't even have to leave the house. While poor Edward sits in traffic for 2 hours every day just to get home to a pigsty. You have all this extra time where you don't have to commute that you could be using on housework. I try my best to keep up with doing the chores in the mornings and at night. I even manage to cook most nights. But I'm even busier than I was before now that I'm working at home. At least in the office, I was able to take a break every once in a while. But now I'm booked solid every day. Maybe if Edward and I actually divided the work up a bit, it might get done more quickly. I didn't mean for it to get so out of hand, and I'm sorry if it's bothering you. It's not like I don't want the house to be cleaner. I'm trying my best, but it's hard to manage it all on my own. I'm not really sure why you're the one angry at me, though. You really should put him first instead of your own selfish desires. Selfish? How am I selfish? Edward is working his fingers to the bone every day, and he comes home to a mess. Because his useless wife won't bother to lift a finger. If that's what you think, maybe you could contribute yourself and help pitch in on some of the housework? I know you have that bad knee of yours, but you could at least do a few things like laundry, or maybe some of the cooking, for example. What are you even going on about? It's your job as a woman of the house to do these things. I'm your mother-in-law. You don't have the right to order me like that. Stop complaining and do your job. I am already doing everything I can. You really don't know your place, do you? My son is too nice to complain to you, but I'm not. Edwards does everything for your family, and you do nothing at all. He doesn't have the time or energy to do what he should already be doing. And you just stuck in the room with your useless job, depending on his money to live a lazy life. I'm working too. It's only fair that the both of us split up the housework. And anyway, why are you getting involved? This is between the two of us. He's my son. I should be able to have a say in what happens to him. And why are you even complaining? This is what you signed up for when you married him. You shouldn't even be working in the first place. Your place is in the home during housework. Shouldn't I be the one to decide that? Or at the very least, Edward and I? Edward doesn't understand. He's just a child. He doesn't know what it's really like to be a responsible adult. And clearly, neither do you. I need to show you both how you should be acting. Don't come back until you've had a long think about what you should do. Maybe after that, I'll let you in. I see what's going on here. You're trying to get us to divorce, aren't you? I thought I saw a strange envelope in the mail the other day, but Edward took it before I could look at it. It looked official, like it was from lawyers. I guess you found me out. Well, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Those were from my attorney. I had him draw them up just in case it came to this. Yeah, you definitely have no shame. And Edward has already signed them too. Under duress, I suspect if you mean he did. If you mean he did, so at my request, he did. You pressured him. I'm sure of it. Well, what's done is done. The ink can't be erased now, but the option is there if you want to take it. If you ask me, I think you should. Maybe add to your list of things to ponder. If we're getting divorced, it's not because you told me to. I can't force you to sign. But I'd be glad to leave you alone and let you do as you please if you two just end this farce now. If you're really not interested in doing housework, then there's no point in you staying together. I'll find Edward someone who actually cares enough to do it a few moments. Edward, honey, what's happening with your mom? She's telling me she drew up divorce papers for us? And she's not letting me in to talk to her.
What? She is?
Yeah, and she's trying to convince me to sign the divorce papers. She said you already did.
Oh, I mean she asked me to sign something recently. But I didn't realize they were divorce papers.
Really? She said they were for my own protection. I guess you should have read them more closely.
Well, no, I didn't. She was so hurried that I had to sign it right away.
Is that so? Your mom wants me to, and she even told me to think about it.
Okay, I'll have a talk with her tonight about it.
Well, that will make me feel a bit better, I guess. She's also mad about me not doing the housework and said she didn't want you to help me with it, even though I'm working a ton myself.
I guess I did say some stuff to her, offhandedly, about the housework not getting done. But it wasn't supposed to be a dig against you or anything. I can't believe she'd say anything to you about it.
Would you be willing to talk to her about this also? Maybe you'll be able to talk her down a bit? She's basically locked me out of the house, so I have had to take a bunch of meetings from a coffee shop with just my phone.
Well, actually, if you were the one who made her mad, you might need to be the one who apologizes.
Really?
Why do I have to? It's your fault. And maybe you should just tell her that you'll do the housework, so I won't have to do any of it.
Wait, what? I thought we said we were going to do it together.
Maybe it's not such a bad idea. I've actually been thinking about this for a while. It would really be a big help if you could just do it. I've been so tired from work lately, and I don't know if I could manage cleaning or whatever on top of that. If you just got it done, it'd be a big weight off my shoulders.
This isn't what we agreed to. There's no way I can manage it either.
Why not? If you're working from home, won't it be a lot easier for you to do it while you're there? You can do it whenever you want. If I was working from home, I'd be taking long lunches and having a nap in the middle of the day. I'm sure you can find the time. That way, we won't have to bother splitting up.
Come on, Edward. Be reasonable.
I'm trying to be. I think it's time you started taking care of the house instead of making my mom upset. Working all day is not something that a good wife should do. After all, that's what my mom did. She would bring my father coffee, cook his meals, and other things. She never seemed to mind about that. It worked out really well for them.
Maybe it worked for them, but it doesn't mean it will for us. I'm not your mother. I shouldn't have to be like her either.
But I don't see anything wrong with it. You're my wife. You are supposed to do it, don't you think? I'm tired of listening to your stupid advice. Don't forget that I'm considering the divorce paper. If you don't know how to behave well, then I'll just have to leave it there to the court.
I can't believe this.
Yep, I'm that kind of husband. Happy now? My mom has promised to find me a much better and more obedient wife. So mind your manners, or else I'll kick you out of this family.
What on earth is this, Nana? What have you prepared for us? It's our dinner, Mom. What's wrong with it? I told you to cook crab soup, and what is this? It's terrible. They ran out of crabs, so I had to cook another dish. But it's not a really big deal, I think. I can still make it up for you next time. What? It's about dinner time, but you still drive me nuts. You are the one who takes responsibility for cooking this dinner. You have to do it well. Can't believe you could be so lazy. There are a whole lot of places where people sell crabs, and you still couldn't find one. Such a useless daughter-in-law. Mom, stop being unreasonable. I have a job and I need to do it, and it was so dark that every stall closed. Have you ever come down and put yourselves in my shoes? Tonight, I tried my best to go home as early as I could and made dinner. For who? For this family. And what did I get? Praises? Congratulations? Not even one word. All I got is criticism and insults. So tell me, why should I work and do all the housework myself? Why can't Edward pitch in and do at least a little bit of it? What are you thinking about? Ask your husband to do it. Are you out of your mind? What about his work? Don't you have any mercy for him? Okay, suppose that's the case. So then why not help me with that? I know there are somehow not many things you can do with your bad knee, but you can still fold clothes or polish silverware or even maybe help with the cooking. What are you talking about? Why do I have to manage your household for you? Then if that won't work, I'll just hire a housekeeper. Among the four of us, it shouldn't be terribly expensive. I can't believe you'd even consider that. You lazy good for nothing. Paying for a housekeeper? What a waste of money when you could just do it for free. So my time and labor are worthless, then? Not worth enough at least. But even then you should be doing it for free, out of love for your husband. When you got married, you agreed to be part of a couple, and that involves doing housework. It's just how the world works. You should be happy he even bothered to marry you. This is so insulting. Why am I even putting up with this? Why don't you just make it easy on all of us, Nana? If you get divorced, this will all go away. I'll find Edward some more suitable and you can do whatever feminist nonsense you feel like. Maybe you should go think about it a little more. Why are you being so cruel about this? How can you just break up your own son's marriage so casually? I can't even begin to imagine what's going on inside your head. I can see why Edward picked you. You're just as petulant as he was as a child. And you're as weak-willed as he is too. You have this job at home where you have to do barely anything and you can't even bother to fulfill your obligations as a wife. While Edward has a proper job where he actually does something meaningful. Your home and your marriage should be your highest priority. All of this talk about splitting the work is disrespectful to me and my son. You should apologize and start pulling your weight. Who are you to be telling me what I should do? I'm your mother-in-law. At the very least, you should show me some respect. If you had any respect for me at all, you'd end this now and leave. Well, if that's what you want, you'll get it. I'll sign the divorce papers and submit them for filing. You will? They should be processed by the court soon. It should all be wrapped up in no time at all. Once everything is finalized, you should be receiving a copy soon. Actually, you know what? I really should be thanking you for the suggestion to get divorced. I think this is probably best for everyone. And what does it mean, Nana? I'll be going to stay with my parents for a little while or sort out my finances. Someone will be by to collect my things tomorrow morning. I'd appreciate it if you leave them where they are for the time being. However, I haven't told Edward. Could you tell him about this? Well, congratulations, you've made the right decision. Don't worry about Edward. He told me that he was too tired of you. He would be really pleased to go to court right away. Wow, just imagine how happy he is on the day he can finally be free. Yeah, sure. Everything should be formalized tomorrow. But you'd better think carefully. Do you understand what you've just done? Without us supporting you, it would be really challenging for you to make ends meet. Then, your life would be really miserable. Actually, I don't care about it. I just want to make sure that you won't regret it. Of course I do. This was all getting to be way too unmanageable with all these demands and you guys' unreasonable expectations. No matter what I said or did, it didn't seem to change anything. So I thought I'd get wild again is good. I was never going to be happy as a full-time homemaker, and there was no way I could do work and do all the housework on my own either. And living with the three of you in that cramped house just didn't seem too appealing either. I thought it might be time for a change. Well, then that's what you should do from the beginning. You are just a troublemaker for this house. I told Edward before he got married that it was a mistake, but he wouldn't listen. I tried to find him a girl that would be a good and dutiful wife, but he insisted on marrying you instead. And I was right all along. This is what he gets for marrying someone who wastes all their time with a piddly little job like yours. Anyway, what a relief that you finally freed my son from your trap. We'll just continue our much better life without you. Nana, it's me, your mom. Are you there? Where on earth are you? You have to answer my phone right now. Now what is it? You're ruining my sleep. And we are nothing. Stop telling me that nonsense. Edward told me that all the money in my passbook was yours. Is that right? But when I checked it this morning, it's all gone. What happened to them? Did you withdraw all of them? Well, you still haven't changed just a bit. Greedy for money. Anyway, yes, all the money that you used every day from the passbook was mine. In other words, the passbook was not from Edward. It's from me. Really? Unbelievable. What's really happening here? Did Edward never say anything? I earn $200,000 a month. Is that enough to understand? You must be lying. Edward would have told me. Actually, I gave him that book so that he could hand it to you. But instead, he stole my efforts. Maybe it's because he was embarrassed that I was making so much more than him. But Edward works so much. Why would he put up with it if you're making so much money? It's such a waste. Wow. You still didn't know anything, did you? He is just a trivial staff member at a coffee store. He earns only about $500 a month. Maybe he's afraid that if he doesn't go to work, he'll become suspicious about that huge amount of money on your passbook. I can't believe it. It might be tough, though, especially with an old greedy lady like you. How dare you, calling me an old lady? How rude! Oh, I apologize. It must be my petulant streak again. But I don't give a damn care about your affair. Oh, well, it's just that. Now I knew the truth. I wanted to apologize for everything with the divorce. We really do regret driving you away like that. I didn't really mean to be so cold towards you, and I was hoping we might be able to have a little talk about what happened. Oh, is that so? Yes, it might be a good idea for us to talk things out a bit now that we've all had a chance to cool down and reconsider. Things have been a little tough for the three of us since everything transpired. We were thinking, maybe you could come back and live with us again? That will be an issue, will it? No, I think it will be an issue. It feels like a waste of time since I have no plans on getting back together with your son. Why not? Don't you think we can find a compromise? At this point, we're well past compromise. Aren't you being a little selfish? You're the selfish one here. You just want me to come back to do all the housework for you. Well then, how about this? Why don't you hire Edward as your assistant? What are you even talking about? Where is this coming from? He's here all day, and all he does is sit around and watch sports. He's content to just collect his social security check and do nothing, but it's driving me crazy. He needs something to do all day that isn't pestering me. Without you here, there's no one else to talk to. Can't you just pay him a little bit to do some easy stuff for you? Say, $50,000. Why would I ever do that? I don't need an assistant, especially one with no experience. And for that, I can find someone with actual time in the industry. All you did was complain about how busy you were. He could help you, I'm sure. After all, how hard could your job be if you can do it at home? Hard enough. I really don't have the time to be talking to you. Bye. Wait, don't go. If you won't cut it, what about me? I can clean your house. Since you're so busy with your work, I might be able to help you with all the chores so you don't have to worry. I don't need much, just $40,000 or so a year. I'll even do all the cooking. I'll make you lunch and dinner every day. I can take care of myself, thanks. Then why not just help us out a little? We don't have enough money to pay the rent now. You make so much. Can't you spare at least a little? It shouldn't be a problem with your salary. You have such a big, important job. Can't you share the love a bit? I'm surprised. Your opinion about working from home definitely seems to have changed in the past few months. It's almost as if the moment I divorced your son, something happened to change your mind. Nothing changed. I just understand the situation better. But if you're not willing to go for $40,000, I could probably manage with $30,000. After all, I am quite an experienced house cleaner. I was a homemaker for over 20 years. I promise you'll get your money's worth. Maybe. Why don't we start from, let's say $1 a year and work our way up from there? After all, you said it yourself. Housework should be free. So you should be fine without pay, right? Maybe if I'm feeling generous, I might give you a bonus. Well, I really could use a housekeeper. And what a bargain you'd be. Things really do get to be a bit of a mess around here. All right, I accept your offer at $1. Wait, you aren't serious, are you? Why wouldn't I be? You're just as disrespectful as ever. I should have known. Why do I even bother with you? I'm just following your rules, and you bragged about being a housewife working for free. What does it matter who you do it for? Why would I work for someone else for free? That's a good question. Now that I think about it, it doesn't really make much sense. Housework is quite a difficult job after all. It does seem pretty unfair to have to do all of it yourself for no compensation. And it's such a waste to spend all that time on something you don't get paid for when you could be out there making a living. Time is money, as they say. Well, if I were making the kind of money you make, I guess I might see it differently. If I had realized before, maybe I would have felt differently. Do you think so? It seems to me that you probably wouldn't have really felt all that differently. But money does change things, I suppose. Please, help us. We used to have a very good relationship with each other. Just a bit of your mercy is enough. I'm begging you. Well, let me repeat this. I'm not getting back with your son, and I'm not going to hire you. So why bother? Bye. You can treat us like this. Nana? Nana! After that last conversation, I blocked Susan and Edward once and for all. Ever since then, I've been living free and easy, unbothered by money-hungry people like them. Newly single and ready to mingle, I've been using my money to travel. Since I'm completely remote, I was even able to arrange a kind of workation and travel around the world. I'm happier than ever, living a life I never imagined for myself while I was still tied down to Edward and his family. I even met a new man while I was traveling, and I'm thinking about trying marriage out again. Thinking back, getting divorced was the best decision I ever made and one that truly turned my life around for the better. I have no regrets. though the same can't be said for Edward and his parents. I heard through the grapevine that Edward's parents have been having a bit of a marital spat, with no one left to do the housework and Susan's knee pain only getting worse. A fight broke out between the two. Her husband insisted on her, as the woman in the house did the cooking and cleaning, in spite of her condition. The fight eventually made its way to Edward, who selfishly took his father's side. He insisted he was too busy and too tired to help, and that Susan should do it all in spite of her age and injury. At her limit, Susan threatened to leave the family just like I did if she were forced to do all the work herself without any help. But, as Edward and his father pointed out, unlike me, she didn't have a penny to her name, nor any job from which she could support herself. She tried her best to break away, leaving the house and staying at a motel all alone. However, after only a few days on her own, she came back to her ungrateful husband and bratty son, and has been scrubbing floors and washing dishes on her own ever since.